Many of the teen survivors say they're tired of waiting for adults to do something about gun control. So they announced a nationwide demonstration.
It's so sad.
So sad. I don't think anyone deserves to go through something like this.
They announced a nationwide demonstration. It's called the March for Our Lives and will be held on March 24th.
I've heard about this. My school's talking about it.
These students, some too young to go to the polls, are using their voices as their vote.
It's like it's under such terrible circumstances, but the fact that the students organize like this is so admirable.
People that I love have died.
This is heartbreaking.
This is a turning point in American history.
I feel like no one listens to us because we are kids. And what do you say to that? I think that's crap.
Yep.
I think we should have a voice too.
It's great that the students are speaking out. It's what should be done.
It's so cool that they're all standing up and doing that, you know? They're not just staying quiet about everything that's going on.
The right to bear arms is in our, it's our Second Amendment, and I wholeheartedly, agree with that. But times have changed, and so I think the law should change with that.
It sucks because it had to come down to this, but it's exciting to see the reactions from all the kids involved and how they're, trying to change, pretty much start a revolution and start getting rid of these stupid-ass guns.
This isn't about red and blue. We can't boo people.
I saw this with Marco Rubio.
Because they're Republicans.
Yeah, he got his ass chewed out.
We can't boo people because they're Democrats and boo people because they're Republicans.
That's right.
Anybody who's willing to start to make a difference is somebody we need on our side here.
Yeah,
and
I agree. It's not a partisan issue.
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
Wow.
Calling him out.
That's right. And he didn't answer the question.
You have every right to ask that question of me, and I'm here to tell you that I will stand for the things. Are you going to be accepting
money from the NRA in the future?
I've always supported. I will always accept that from anyone who agrees.
He's just dodging the question.
These kids are great because they keep asking the question until you give me an answer.
I told you that I support lifting the age from 18 to 21 of buying a rifle.
Yes, that's good.
My understanding, as before I walked out here, is that that organization is not in favor of that. But
it's just so dumb why they can't just say no.
I don't know what their position is on teachers being armed, but I don't think they should be.
Oh, double talk.
I will do what I think is right. And if people want to support my agenda, they're welcome to do so, but they buy into my ideas. I don't buy into theirs.
Okay. Politicians will take money from wherever it comes.
It's not about them buying into your ideas and you buying into theirs. If you're accepting money from them, you're accepting their support.
I thought he said some good things in this, but they are definitely masters of weaving their words in a certain way.
It's kind of hard because the students are coming from actually being in a school shooting, so it's like one far end of the spectrum to the political standpoint, which has to take in consideration all of America, not just people who have experienced these things firsthand. But I think it's really cool that they're actually bringing up this topic and they're having these conversations because, it's about time.
The shooter at our school obtained weapons that he used on us legally.
Emma Gonzalez.
Do you believe that it should be harder to
I love Emma Gonzalez.
Do you believe that it should be harder to obtain the semi-automatic and weapons and the modifications for these weapons to make them fully automatic like bump stocks?
No, she doesn't.
First off, Emma,
she's the NRA person.
First off, Emma, I want to applaud you for standing up and speaking out.
At least she acknowledges that.
I, nor the millions of people that I represent as a part of this organization that I'm here speaking for, none of us support people who are crazy, who are
We support getting that money.
None of us support people who are crazy, who are a danger to themselves, who are a danger to others.
I think it's a mental health thing for sure.
Because I have kids, and I'm not just fighting for my kids, I'm fighting for you. How was he able to pass a background check?
She didn't even answer the question.
He was able to pass a background check because we have a system that's flawed.
Very flawed.
I think I'm just gonna interrupt you real quick and remind
Atta girl.
Yeah, she's avoiding the question.
Do you believe it should be harder to obtain these semi-automatic weapons and modifications to make them fully automatic, such as bump stock?
Yeah.
Well,
I love this because she's just you're not actually answering my question.
The president ordered the DOJ to look into it.
I'm asking your opinion as a representative of
Yes,
the NRA.
Emma!
The NRA's position has been.
Damn.
The NRA came.
What's
I'm
yours?
talking for them. These are the 5 million members
Well done.
you're representing. That is.
These kids are kind of angsty, not gonna lie. They're not really listening to what she's saying.
I understand you're standing up for the NRA, and I understand that's what you're supposed to do. But you just told this group of people that you are standing up for them. You're not standing up for them.
You're not standing up for them.
I want less weapons.
That's all they would do is avoid the serious question because they don't want to offend or say anything that won't get them money.
She was in some way answering her question. She wasn't just ignoring the question. She was answering it, but they wanted like a clear yes or no. And since she wasn't giving that to them, they just weren't hearing what she was saying at all. It's important to hear people out and like have actual conversations about it.
This changes the perspective that a lot of adults have on teens. Just because it's like, they're not these lazy high schoolers who just worry about themselves. Like, they're here as the activist generation.
In the way that our society is functioning right now, something as delicate as this needs to be handled by our generation that are the victims. I'm really proud of our generation for the fact that we're actually getting like a lot of attention for this right now.
I just want to take a second first to thank you for having me, Mr. President. I want to feel safe at school. You know,
seriously, my mom the other day was like, I'm so glad you're not in school anymore because it's just so scary.
I turned 18 the day after. Woke up to the news that my best friend was gone.
That's traumatizing.
This makes me so sad.
And I don't understand why I could still go in a store and buy a weapon of war, an AR.
Our baby's buying weapons of war.
I was reading today
at 18.
How do we not stop this after Columbine, after Sandy Hook? I'm sitting with a mother that lost her son. It's still happening.
Too many lives have been lost because of this.
Our priorities are in the wrong place.
In Australia, there was a shooting at a school in 1999. And, you know, after that, they took a lot of ideas, they put legislation together, and they stopped it.
Yeah.
Can anyone here guess how many shootings there have been in the schools since then in Australia? 0.
0. That's right, baby. 0.
0.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We need to do something. And that's why we're here.
This is so heavy. I mean, as a teacher on top of it, this is heavy. This is hard.
Very good point, but unfortunately they don't realize that some of the mindsets that are in control aren't going to allow things like that.
I saw all this during the last week, and it's just still so awful and raw. It's just painful. Painful.
And all over the world, there's shootings that happened, and they went and made laws, and they stopped it. This makes me mad.
Companies trying to make caricatures of the teenagers nowadays, saying that all we are is self-involved and trend-obsessed.
Heck yeah.
They hush us into submissions.
Okay, I saw this.
This is a video that went off on Twitter.
They hush us into submissions when our message doesn't reach the ears of the nation. We are prepared to call BS. Politicians!
Emma has become such a powerhouse.
Politicians who sit in their gilded House and Senate seats funded by the NRA telling us nothing could have ever been done to prevent this. We call BS!
She is fired up.
They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS!
Let's go.
They say guns are just tools like knives and are as dangerous as cars. We call BS! That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too
You
young
don't have
to
the life experiences.
that we're too young to understand how the government works.
Yes, girl.
We call
BS. Bull.
If you agree, register to vote. Contact your local congresspeople.
That's right.
Peace of your mind.
Jeez. And it's like, you hear, especially with all of these students who have been organizing from Florida, it's like you hear the actual just rawness and emotion behind them. They've survived this awful tragedy, and now they're trying to do something with it, and it's frustrating when legislators aren't listening to them.
You think they'd do something after the club. You think they'd do something after Sandy Hook. You think they'd do something after even Columbine, but they don't. Because of money.
People say it's time for thoughts and prayers right now, but it's not. It's time to actually directly address the issue and start talking about gun control.
I get what she's saying, but it's not, to me, it's not the gun that kills the people. It's the person with the mental health issue who picks up a gun and decides to go and murder as many people as they can. There should just be a strict screening process and like a full evaluation to anyone who buys a weapon.
If we're not to the point where we think there is something wrong with the system, then shame on us.
So it's not possible for us to cover all of the angles with this. We'll only be able to scratch the surface of this complex issue for this episode.
Oh, of course.
FBE has discussed gun control in the U.S. over the years, and sad to say, the issue has not had much change.
No.
So we'll focus more on the movement that is beginning to rise rather than gun control itself, but do you feel like there's been any change in this country from school shootings over the last 5, 10, or 15 plus years?
It's kind of crazy because I mean, things are changing, but I don't even know if it's for the better. Like, with the proposals that we should arm teachers, like, there's changes, but not in the right direction.
The worst nightmares that I've had are the ones that have been about school shootings, where I've dreamt about having to hide behind a desk or hide into a closet. And it's something that students are actually going through. That's the rationale where it's like, oh no, we don't have to actually fix the guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people is the argument that I hear over and over again.
These kids and now teachers like myself have to be looking over our shoulders all the time. I can't focus completely on teaching because I'm concerned about this.
Not until my age demographic hits that age requirement to become a member of office, so give it another 10, 20 years, like that's when real change is gonna happen. Because right now, like our politicians are too money hungry and too self-indulged for themselves to do anything about it.
We know that you are a gun owner yourself. What is your stance when you hear people talking about this issue?
Well, I can see their frustration in it. The best defense against evil men is good men skilled in violence. And if good men are allowed and can, we can stop these situations. The more good people that have guns, the less likely that bad people will be able to get away with as much.
So as a teen in high school right now, how have the school shootings affected your school experience or your even view living in the country?
Someone brought up in class the idea of us having bulletproof cabinets so that if a school shooting was to happen, we'd have something to protect ourselves with. Which is crazy that we'd even have to think of installing bulletproof cabinets in our high school so that we would be protected when we're supposed to feel safe.
The day after, we had to practice a lockdown drill, and it's a little crazy. Like I get it, the drills are safety and they're mandatory, but like if there's actually a shooter on campus, I'm not running to a school classroom. I'm getting out of there as quick as I can.
We actually had an incident about a week or 2 weeks before the shooting where there was like a gunman running around the streets near our school, and we were put on lockdown for about 2 or 3 hours. And it made all of us realize that we weren't prepared. My school has enforced more safety protocols, and now we know like where we're gonna go if someone does come into the building, and it's scary.
From your generation, when you were a teenager in school, were school shootings an issue, and was the gun debate kind of the same, or have you watched this evolve over the years?
Never. I can't think of any situations occurring like that. Extremely, extremely rare.
I never remember feeling unsafe in school. When I was growing up, we had atomic bomb drills. So, there was a different fear as a student for my generation.
As a parent raising kids, how does this issue affect how you view the safety of your own children?
Oh, you think about it all the time. I teach on what we call an open campus. Anybody can enter that campus at any point. We're trying to up mental health resources and things like that, and we're doing our best there, but it's just not happening.
In what feels like a larger way than in previous tragedies, the survivors of the Parkland shooting have been getting vocal on the streets and on social media and have sparked a new movement, which is part of the March for Our Lives.
Yeah, I've heard of March for Our Lives it's all over social media. At least in my area, we are trying to organize a March for Our Lives on our city hall.
They're asking students and supporters to walk out of schools on March 24th to demand that lawmakers put an end to gun violence and mass shootings.
Lawmakers can't do that. That's just a show of their frustration to have these rallies and think they're going to do something. It's not going to have any effect. People that are educators, that are scholars, that are professors, they don't have the mentality of what it takes to really stop things like this. They're focused on the only thing they know. Their way of life is teaching.
What do you think about the way that these survivors have been organizing in the aftermath of this tragedy?
I mean, I think that it's awesome that they're actually standing up. I'm not really one for marches because I'm like, what does it really solve besides raising awareness? But if it raises even more awareness, then, I mean, all power to them.
A lot of the times, like, kids my age, like, feel like they don't have a voice. That's a lame excuse because you can advocate for anything and, like, your voice really does count.
I incredibly support them.
and I respect them. The March for Our Lives, I think that's a perfect name for them just because of the fact that from what I've seen, like, they've been willing to stop at nothing in order to achieve their goal.
I have great admiration for them, and I'm hoping that that energy will be the energy that does make a change.
People try to invalidate the comments and like attitudes of teenagers because they say like we're too young, we can't even vote, but we're the next generation. So it's important that we have our own opinions and we voice our opinions on these matters.
Why do you think the issue of gun control has been such a difficult issue for this country to figure out and solve?
The middle ground can't be reached because both sides don't want to reach that middle ground. They're too selfish in what they want.
We need to be able to somehow voice our opinions without completely keeping the other out of the conversation. Which is why I thought it was important when we had the town hall in Florida that Marco Rubio was there and that the legislators from Florida were also there. So they were both representing the Democrats and Republicans.
You have a small amount of people, okay, acting like they're the majority of the people, trying to run something. And they've been running it because of greed, because of money. They don't care about people getting killed. They care about the almighty dollar.
These big companies and organizations can fund money, and they have puppets in political places. And when you have puppets in political places, things that even common sense laws that we need that could be put into place are not being pushed through. As someone who does support the right to have guns, I do think that there are changes that need to be made.
Everyone believes in the Second Amendment and says, yes, we have the right to bear arms. But the logic has to prevail that says that does not mean assault weapons. Here's what always happens is we have the shooting, everyone feels badly about it, and a week later, we're done. And I think this has legs, and I don't think these kids are going to let it go.
Finally, I'd hope we can all agree that no one wants to see these tragedies continue to happen. So where do you think we go from here?
Well, I think they need to definitely make it harder for anybody who wants to get a gun get a gun, to what levels somebody is mentally or not mentally capable, and passing a more stricter level of training and not making it easy. Oh, I can buy a gun first and then go get some training. I believe that should be in reverse.
Taking away all the guns isn't going to solve the problem because it's not the gun necessarily that's killing all the people. Like I said, it's the person behind the gun. So I think that there needs to be something done with mental health, and I think there needs to be reformation with guns as well. Not everyone should be able to get a gun. That's just like common sense to me.
Fewer guns. And there's research that says fewer guns, fewer problems.
We start with changing the age limit. I know it won't really stop anyone from getting what they want, but I think it's a start.
We go exactly where we're going, which is, the movement is picking up. Everybody has to do their part. I don't care if you retweet the tweet that needed to be tweeted. You know what I mean? That's your part.
As kids have grown up with this, I think we're all coming together one way or another, and I think we'll stop it.
People, if they want to make an impact, they can march for their lives on March 24th. That's at any major city, really. If they don't have one in their city, they should create it. March 14th, there's a school walkout at 10 a.m. They could participate in that. 17 minutes for each one of the people who were killed. And then on April 20th, I've also heard speak of another walkout. So if anyone is wanting to participate, there are 3 different dates for movements, and they can participate in any of them to make an impact.